and welcome back to the 33rd episode of my still unnamed survival series. Today we have some colossal plans in store. For starters, we are going to add on to my mega base and then build a massive ship somewhere in the ocean. After that, we're gonna chuck a farm somewhere in this village. But before we do any of that, I have a few friends that I would like to introduce you to. And once we meet them, I'm gonna start a massive grind for some warped stem blocks. These are my new friends, or should I say my new family. I've had these guys for a little while already, but just never really introduced them. So I think it's as good a time as any to introduce you to Salt. And yes, he got his name from his white coat. It was either gonna be Salt or Snowball. And then his brother, Asphalt. He also got his name from his coat. Salt and Asphalt, my two new favorite friends. And now that we've met Salt and Asphalt, it's time to start the grind to get some warped stem. This block is going to be a staple in the palette of our world. So I am going to be back at this farm a lot. Today we are going to be using this in our boat build, along with some prismarine bricks and bone blocks. But since I'm going to need a lot of this in the future anyway, I'm going to go ahead and grab way more than I actually need today. After a little practice with this farm, it gets really easy to land where you want in the air. This is by far the easiest and most effective way I have found to farm this material. If you have a better way though, let me know. I'm kind of curious. I've tried a few automatic farms in the past, but they definitely don't work as well as this. Granted, those methods are passive and this is manual, but I get these a lot faster than with those farms. I have been grinding for a pretty long time now, and I have a fair amount to show for it. I have 4 shulker boxes of these warped stem blocks, and that is definitely enough to get us started on this ship. But before I even start this, I need to find out where I'm gonna place it. Now, obviously, we are gonna place this boat in the water, but I don't quite know where in the water. Eventually, I am going to be building a dock on this side of my island, but this ship might be a little too large to port there. But as of right now, I don't really know. So I am going to start on my base and have a quick think about it. Well, after that time lapse, I did have a lot of time to think about where I wanted to place this boat, and unfortunately, I don't think that I want it over by my base. We do have a lot of open water over here, but I just don't think it's gonna fit with what I want to do in the future. And I know that if I do place it over here, it's not gonna be where I want it forever, and I'm gonna have to end up tearing it down, which is something I really don't want to do. So that leaves our best option as these waters over here. I still don't know exactly where I want to place it, but I would like it to be visible from the village. I want to give this a seaside feel, and boats are one of the easiest ways to do it. I know that if I go too far down the coastline, it's not going to be visible from the village, and I don't know how far I want to push the village before it even turns into the city, so I feel like the closer we get to our village, the better. I've been flying around a little bit, giving myself a good old-fashioned thinkaroo, and this is where I decided I want the boat. I don't quite know exactly what else I'm going to be doing over here. I might add a few more little vessels, some small sailboats maybe some paddle boats coming out to gather resources from the boat to bring to the village. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't thought that far ahead, but I have thought about resources, and I think we need to make a quick trip to the end. I am going to be mining a few shulker boxes worth of this endstone to turn into endstone bricks. This is going to be the floor of the main deck of our ship. This is also going to be incorporated into the color palette of our city, just because I really like the texture and the shade of the endstone bricks. These also go really well with birch slabs and the birch block in general, which is what we're going to be pairing it with on our vessel. I think that I'm going to collect a little bit of birch as well. I do have a huge reserve of most types of wood anyway, but it's always good to collect a little bit whenever you have a project. Now that I've gathered up all of the resources I need to get started on this ship, I think it's about time to hop into a time lapse. And this is the ship. I have no idea what we're gonna call this thing, or even if it's gonna have a name, but I think it should have a name. So leave your name for this vessel down in the comments section below. We aren't entirely done with it though. It is missing one feature, a sail. As you might already know, the architectural style for this world is going to be a mixture of Viking and Elven design, which is why we have this dragon head on the front of the ship. It also means we need a sail on this ship. But before I build that, I would like to place the farm in the center of this ship, right in the hull. This farm is going to take up a lot of space underneath the deck of this ship. So I've carved out a little doorway in the back of this vessel just so we can make it in and out pretty easily. Before we do anything with this farm, I'm gonna go a little crazy with sponges here. I've got to get all the water out of this to make room for the farm. I don't use sponges enough to remember this, but they actually have a tool now. As of 1.16, hose breaks sponges faster. This is so useful. Now that I have the water cleared out and a space to build, I'm gonna plop down my redstone shulker boxes and get to work. I don't actually know how much redstone I'm gonna need in here, but I'm gonna place down my shulker boxes anyway. This might actually be a pretty tricky farm. I don't work with turtles very much, and I know I've mentioned this in an earlier episode. I like working in confined spaces like this. I like building the shell of my farm before the actual farm, and giving myself a challenge to fit the farm inside of the shell. But now let's talk about the more interesting shells, the turtle shells. This opening right here will attract the baby turtles. They have an interesting mechanic that draws them towards open ocean, and we're going to be using that against them. These baby turtles are basically going to walk towards a certain spot in this farm, fall into a water line that will push them directly into the kill chamber. And that is what this ice path is. This is the water line that will push them back into the boat for the kill chamber. The kill chamber itself isn't going to have any redstone, no trident killers, nothing like that. It's basically just going to be a 1x2 area that the adult turtles can't fit in. So when the turtles grow up and get forced into a solid block, they're going to start taking damage. I might change up this kill chamber later. I've never really used this kind of method when it comes to killing entities. I'm not sure how well it's going to work or even if it will work, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot anyway. Our glass and our hoppers are now in place. This is pretty much everything that's going to push them to the kill chamber. But one very important thing about the kill chamber is it needs to be surrounded by solid blocks. If they aren't surrounded by solid blocks, then the farm itself won't work. So I just had kind of an interesting idea. I was going to use a sign here, but I think I could use a staircase, and the baby turtles are small enough to fit in that one little open section. So I am going to give that a little test. In theory, that's going to push them right to the edge, and it's still going to act like a block that they won't be able to go through. But now I'm going to put the finishing touches on this water line. I'm going to close up our door. We don't really need to get through that anymore. And then I'm going to put some blocks right above the top of this water line. I would still like to be able to see what's going on in this water line, and that's why I am using glass. We only have a few more little touches to finish up this farm. One big thing that we need is turtles. The turtles themselves do have a few tricky mechanics, and one odd little quirk is they need sand. The sand is very important because turtles have one odd mechanic. They will only lay eggs on the beach that they are born on. So the only way to actually start this farm is to find turtles in the wild, breed them there, collect their eggs before they hatch, bring them back to the beach that we just made, let them hatch here, wait until they grow up here, and then breed them here. I feel like that's a little overly complicated, but that's just the way we're gonna have to do it. So we need seagrass, but unfortunately I don't actually know how to get seagrass in survival. I've never even tried to. I thought this was seagrass, but I'm using Fortune and Silk Touch on it, and nothing is happening. I thought it was just Silk Touch, but apparently that's not it. Is it biome specific? Do I need to be in a not cold biome to get this? It's definitely not working in this biome either with Silk Touch or Fortune. So I guess we're gonna try shears now. It's definitely shears. I don't know why Silk Touch doesn't work. That seems a little odd to me. Either way, I'm gonna have to collect a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna need a lot of turtles, so I'm gonna need a lot of seagrass. But now let's go out and actually find some turtles. I know in the past I've seen a lot of turtles spawn on these islands over here, but I'm not sure what makes them spawn or how often they spawn, so I'm just gonna be flying back and forth until I found some? That didn't take long at all. Now the question is, do these get attracted by seagrass like cows get attracted by wheat? I've never really tried to breed turtles. I think they're walking my way, or swimming my way, I guess. Yeah, they're definitely coming up on the beach. I've never actually bred turtles, but if I understand this correctly, we breed them with the seagrass on a beach, and then one grows bigger, and then that bigger one lays the eggs. The hearts went away and nothing happened, so I think I'm just gonna wait here. This one right here kinda looks a little bigger, so I guess that's a good start. This one's doing something. It didn't want to follow. Oh, it is doing something. What are you doing? Does this mean it's laying eggs? I think it's digging in the sand, so it's laying eggs. That's what normal turtles do. It is laying eggs. Cool. Are sea turtle eggs like pickles, where you can place multiple in one little block? Yeah, okay, they are like pickles. And now that I know how to breed them, I'm gonna breed them up a little bit more, get a few more turtle eggs, and then bring them back to the ship. Hatch them, and then breed them up again. Okay, so this is kind of weird. The eggs sparkle like villager workstations when they're placed on a new beach. This is kind of weird, and I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, I guess it lets me know that something's happening, but I'm not sure what it is. Kind of freaky. Makes me feel like I'm working with villagers, even though I know I'm not. But either way, we have this hole blocked off, so when they do hatch, they're not gonna go into the kill chamber. They'll just stay here. They're starting to crack now. This one just did a thing. I think that I am going to watch these and just wait until the little baby hatches. Adorable. So tiny, so cute. I have been breeding up these turtles quite a bit now. We have quite a bit of eggs and only 2 turtles still, so I am gonna wait and breed them up a little bit more. I would like to have 15 to 20 turtles in here. I think that is going to be the ideal amount. This way, if we need a lot of eggs at one time, we can just come down here and breed them up and get them pretty quickly. One thing that I have noticed is these turtle eggs hatch at a fairly inconsistent rate, which makes building this farm kind of tedious when it comes to hatching the turtles. Once I get all the turtles I want in here, I think we're gonna go ahead and give this a test. I wanna see if these baby turtles will actually pathfind to where they're supposed to. Okay, like 6 baby turtles just hatched out of 1 egg, and that kind of took me by surprise. I was only expecting 1 there. Is this normal though? Is this supposed to happen? Okay, I may have underestimated the size of these turtles. I don't think we're gonna fit 15 to 20 in this little area. I'm gonna extend this. That's better. 15 to 20 can definitely fit in here now. But now the question is, can the baby turtles pathfind from all the way in the back of this farm? I think we should test that. I have about 15 to 20 turtles in here now, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and just wait a little bit and see if the baby turtles will make it all the way from the back up towards the front. I don't actually have any baby turtles in here now, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait for a little bit and just watch them. See if they can, wander up towards the front here. This is where they should be aiming for. This basically leads to open ocean. I just saw a few eggs hatch over there. I'm not sure where the babies are at, but they should be, oh, there they are. They're making their way through the turtle pile, heading towards the hole. So far, it actually seems to be working quite well. Oh, that works out really well. I couldn't be happier with that. Gotta be honest, didn't think that would actually work, but that works out perfectly. They are all just making their way over there. This works so well. These guys came down from the very end over there. Wow. I can't believe this works. They walk a little slow, but it's getting there. I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I don't think any of these guys have actually made it past the current either. They all just fall in and then fall back. This works so well. Wow, they are all right there. This is awesome. This works perfectly. I do think I want to wait and get a little bit more turtles in here though. I would have to say that this farm is in complete working order. We have a bunch of turtles in here. They are producing eggs, and the baby turtles are walking towards the water line, which is perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. They will just go ahead and unalive themselves whenever they are born, which sounds a little gruesome, but they made their choice. They didn't have to walk towards the water line. But with that said, we are going to go above deck and start working on another part of this ship. We are missing a very important detail for this vessel, and that is a sail. I think this sail design is going to add a lot to this boat in general. It's going to be kind of an odd sail. I have a gradient planned out for it, and I think it's just going to add a lot to this build overall. So let's start that time lapse. And look at that beauty. This ship is finally complete with that gorgeous sail. It still looks a little wonky, I think, and I'm not quite sure what's wrong with it, but I'm pretty satisfied with it for now. I might do something with the rest of this boat and the interior, but for now, I'm really happy with how this turned out, especially the dragon head. Our copper is oxidizing in the body, and it's just coming together beautifully. I love the way the new copper blocks fit in with the prismarine and the warped stems. Everything about this I just adore. I think the back of the boat does look a little bit more modern than Viking, but I can live with that. And with the addition of our farm and the completion of our boat, I think we are going to call it an episode right here. I had a lot of fun making today's episode, and I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. There were a lot of time lapses in today's episode, and I think they fit in quite well. But as always, my name is Red Skies. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I really appreciate it. And as always, if you have any tips or tricks for using DaVinci Resolve or video editing in general, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your opinion. And just a tidbit for the future episodes, I will finally be updating to the 1.18 update, and my world will change forever. I hope you are just as excited as I am, because I am severely looking forward to it.